What's up, Meta Nerds? This video is all about the Aggressive ReConnaissance Class 170 Starfighter, or as it's more commonly known, the ARC-170. It was manufactured by the Incom Corporation, with help from a company called Subpro, the people that also made the Z95 Headhunter, and it cost $155,000 brand new, about 20 grand more than a Y-Wing bomber. When it flew off the assembly line, it was 12.71 meters, or about 42 feet long, making it barely longer than the X-Wing. It was 3.81 meters, or 12.5 feet tall, the height of a Wookiee with a Jawa on its shoulders. But what's really impressive is its wingspan. A width of 19.85 meters, or 65 feet wide, makes it the size of a 6-story building, or 3 ATSTs. With a top atmospheric speed of 1,050 kilometers per hour, or 652 miles per hour, it is the exact same speed of the X-Wing, and still slower than some World War II planes. But interestingly, if the deflector shields were activated, it could hit a top speed of 44,000 kilometers per hour, or 27,340 miles per hour. That is 3.5 times faster than the fastest vehicle on Earth, the X-43, which was an unmanned vehicle. And I feel like it should be pointed out here that this speed is ridiculously faster than other vehicles in Star Wars, and so from a lore perspective, I imagine this number may either be Republic propaganda, or simply lies from the manufacturer. But let's take a look at all the different parts of this unique starfighter. At the nose there is a built-in headlight, a wide range of scanners and photoreceptors. Behind that were the jamming devices and long-range communication sensors. To help get the ARC-170 off the ground before flight, it had a repulsor lift, and to move it forward, it had this pair of enormous thrusters. The deflector shields were stored here by the turbines, and this is part of the reason why they claim it can hit those crazy speeds, because it would dispense heat away from the thrusters, allowing them to keep ramping up the thrust generated by the ion acceleration chamber. Out on each wing was a powerful medium laser cannon, which had an interesting ability in the tip that could change the angle slightly to help increase its accuracy. This is controlled by a co-pilot and forward gunner who sat up here at the top, and he was also responsible for the 6 onboard proton torpedoes. Behind him was the second gunner, the rear gunner, who controlled these 2 cannons. The hyperdrive was located behind this gun, and this complicated ship was assisted in its operations by an R2 series astromech. The pilot of course sat up front here, and was responsible for controlling all of the navigation and countermeasures, while juggling the difficult tasks of setting up shots for the 2 gunners, while also trying to take evasive maneuvers. And it should be pointed out that if these gunners were killed, the pilot did have the option to fire these weapons as well. The ARC-170 would usually enter battle from a Venator-class Star Destroyer, which could hold 36 of these starfighters, and when not in battle, the ARC-170s would have its wings folded down. Training to be an ARC-170 pilot started early on in a clone's life, with personal accounts saying that they spent every hour of their downtime in flight simulators. But this hard work definitely paid off, with the ARC-170s being one of the most respected vehicles in the clone military, being excellent escorts for Y-Wing bombers and LA-ATs, and they were a terrifying threat to other droid starfighters. The ARC-170s that fought alongside Kenobi and Skywalker on their way to the Invisible Hand were known as Flight Squad 7, a battle-hardened group that often fought with Kenobi in missions in the Outer Rim. Once the Republic became the Empire, we saw how the ARC-170 took out Plo Koon's Delta 7, and even after the fall of the Jedi Order, the ARC-170s would be used by the Empire, and Green Squadron was actually fought by a rogue clone trooper named Kadak and his squadron of V-19 starfighters. Though they were forced to retreat, and the ARC-170 leveled an entire city that was disobedient to the new Empire. New ARC-170s were made during Imperial rule, but had their color schemes changed to gray, black, and white. Around this same time, however, a bunch of ARC-170s also fell into the hands of rebels. But then Incom developed the T65 X-Wing, a craft that utilized the same foldable wing S-foil system, and this vehicle came to represent a much larger percentage of rebel forces. Later, a pair of rebel Wookiees were actually able to salvage an ARC-170 from Dathomir, and the last time we see one is by Queen Calantha of Naboo, who owned a couple of her own ARC-170s, and she actually gave one of these away as a gift to one of these rebel Wookiees. Well, that's it for the ARC-170's history, but you definitely want to hear these cool facts and behind-the-scenes stuff. Originally, it was just called the Clone Fighter, and then the ARC-170 in the original draft of the Revenge of the Sith script. And if you look close at the HUD of Oddball's ARC-170, they use this to make a reference to the targeting displays of Luke's X-Wing in A New Hope. To add to this visual connection, when making the episode The Zillo Beast, they used the sounds of X-Wings from the original trilogy for the ARC-170. If you want to buy your own Imperial ARC-170, one of these ships has actually been realized as a toy, and in the novel Labyrinth of Evil, we see how General Grievous didn't fully understand this starfighter's weapon capabilities, saying that it was equipped with multiple missile launchers. Well, that's it for the Aggressive ReConnaissance 170 Starfighter. If you liked it, go ahead and hit that like button, and be sure to leave a comment down below if I missed any cool facts, or if you have a suggestion for future videos. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at MetaNerdsLore, so you can see us build Star Wars props and cosplays, along with some other cool Star Wars stuff. If you want to help support this channel, check out the description below for our Amazon store and our Patreon. And be sure to subscribe, because we're making videos like this every single day. But more important than all that, remember, when an old guy in a robe tells you to shoot down your friend, just pretend you have bad reception, and the Force will be with you, always.